Welcome out to another episode of It's All Been Trucked Before. This time we're going through the Looking Glass, people. Yeah, this isn't JFK, this is DS9. It's all been trucked before through the Looking Glass. Hey, why don't you go through the Looking Glass and you can get all the bonus features of this show. And it's the All Been Done Radio Hour. And I'm going to say more. You'll always be in touch with us. Patreon.com/IABD is the place to do it. Sign up there. Pennies a day. Before we get rid of pennies, spend them. Patreon.com/IABD. And now we're going through the Looking Glass. DS9. It's all been tracked before.
Welcome out to another episode of It's All Been Tracked Before. Your skeleton crew is here.
This is Steven.
Jimmy-Jerome. We are here to talk about the Star Trek Deep Space Nine episode Through the Looking Glass. First impressions.
We talked about it, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago. I love mirror episodes, and this is, it's a little bit of red kryptonite, but not totally red kryptonite, but it's just fun. It's fun seeing these guys do different things. And this one has the added layers of Sisko's wife being involved. So I thought it was fun. It feels like it's tough to get. I feel like it's a tricky contrivance to be like, hey, you got to come with me and all that stuff. But once we get to the mirror universe, and some people we kind of know already or whatever, there's some interesting things going on. I thought it was a fun episode. I didn't take a ton of notes because for some of it, I just kind of started watching, and stopped taking notes, which is not to say I was bored. I was very interested in it. But in some way, and I'm going past first impression, in some ways I thought it was almost too easy. Some of the, I wouldn't say lazy, but easy to just hop to the other universe and get into stuff. But the things it does get into, I enjoyed. Mirror Kira is always going to be awesome to watch. Again, apparently, if it's an evil woman, I'm in. And maybe that's the old Woody Allen joke from Annie Hall, where he's like, I always chose the wrong woman. He was attracted to the evil witch in Snow White and not Snow White. So maybe that is something in my character, but and personally. But anyway, I definitely enjoyed her a lot here, and everybody else getting to do other stuff. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't know if I liked it as much as the first one, but yeah. Because a lot of that stuff, it's like, okay, we did some of this before. It's good to see it again. But I did appreciate the Sisko's dilemmas.
Yeah, this is the weakest mirror universe episode we've had thus far, in my opinion. I didn't think it was that great. Yeah. I think there were things that were too easy. I think Sisko and his wife stuff just didn't seem to work. I don't know if it was too simplistically contrived or if it was an acting thing. I mean, I think Felicia and Bell did fine. She was in the pilot as well, so they brought back the same actress.
Right.
And she will be in next year's Mirror Universe episode too. So we'll see her again as this version of Jennifer Sisko. Okay. But I don't know. I didn't love it. I wanted to. I think part of the issue was that Intendant Kira, who was easily the best part of the first Deep Space Nine Mirror Universe episode, was so tame in this episode. Like, she had a little bit of sexy danger going on, but it was not, she did not get to shine or take control of the situation. She was almost side character in this, and she was easily fooled, and I think that hurt her. And I wanted more badass Intendant Kira.
It starts strong with all the sexual stuff, which, okay, we know she's sexual, but then, it almost is like there weren't as many levels to her. It felt like it was just like she was more like, stop them, do this, do that. And for me, the only compelling part of the episode, well, Jadzia being there, Dax being there was compelling. And again, but for the same reasons, Kira, making out with everyone was compelling, I think. But it's a good question about him and his wife, because I wanted. And I don't know, maybe I'm doing all the work in my head, because to me, it's like, I'm just thinking about like, man, is he forgetting that this isn't his wife? I mean, which I think makes sense. I don't know if I decided that or if they made me feel that. I mean, Avery Brooks is a great actor, so it's kind of an internal thing that he's, has to try and make external to a point. But like, the question I wrote near the end is like, has he forgotten where he is? And I think at some points he does, but he's also knows he's got to finish whatever this mission is before he can go back or whatever. And all the machinations to get him there, and we need to bring you back so we can do this, and this is what your guy would do. Is Smiley, aka O'Brien, is he like a bad guy?
Kinda. I mean, he's a rebel. We're supposed to root for the rebels, though, right?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
the Empire, the Klingon Cardassian Alliance or whatever, is evil.
Yeah.
But yeah, Smiley's also kind of a terrorist.
Because
So
every time he told him like, this is what the captain would do, I was like, is it? Are you just saying that?
I think for the most part he's up front, but I could see him fudging it if he thought he had a better idea than what Sisko would have done.
Yeah. And I forgot initially. I was like, is this a mirror episode? And then as soon as O'Brien showed up and pulled out the gun, I'm like, oh, okay. And then he says, we're through the looking glass, which is right off the bat. And then it goes to the open title sequence. I'm like, saying we're through the looking glass isn't very helpful as to where we are in the story, what's going to happen. And maybe they just wanted to tease it that way, but not very helpful. But poor Morn, he lost his
illegal vole fighting ring.
His voles, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, those are essentially like the rats. Quark and Morn trying to stage a vole fight is ridiculous. It's criminal and cruel. And it's another one of those situations where we shouldn't like Quark, knowing he does this stuff. And he's just blaming Morn, even though I think Morn probably does enjoy it. But nobody, maybe because Morn's involvement, they're not cracking down on him too hard, because they're like, oh, you're bad, Quark, but we love Morn, so we can overlook a little vole fighting.
Yeah.
It did occur to me that maybe they only staged that scene with Quark and Odo because we know they both died in the first Mirror Universe episode, their mirror versions. So it was like, we're not going to get to use them. Last time, though, we didn't get everybody because there were a lot of characters that we didn't see the mirror version of last time. This time, other than Quark and Odo, who we know are dead, we got all the main cast. Again, except for Jake, who wasn't in either one, but he's only in like half the episodes, so you don't miss him as much. But all the other main characters, Dax and Bashir, who we didn't get the first time around, we get this time. And we get, Garrick, and we get Rom, who wasn't in it last time around.
Yeah.
So we get some new ones. But yeah, I do think the body count was lower this time around too, which might have been part of what... It's like, we lost Quark and Odo, and you're just going to kill Rom? Okay. Like, sorry, I'm not...
Those are 3 executions, but that's done off screen.
Well, and Sisko died, but it was off screen before the episode started.
Right.
Whereas if we had started... It would have been kind of cool as an alternate episode to see Sisko like running from a Cardassian ship or a Klingon ship or both, and not knowing it's the mirror universe, and like with him in the pilot's chair going, "Who are these people? Why is he dressed that way?" And then he blows up, and then we find out it's the mirror universe. That would have been a cool opening.
Yes, that's much better. Yes,
right.
I just thought, that opening is not great. It did not make me excited. And I didn't like it
was just so Renee and Armin earned their paychecks.
Yeah.
I liked it, but it didn't feel necessary.
Yeah. Yep.
O'Brien manages to kidnap Sisko and Ops. I guess we go back to, everybody always leaves their quarters unlocked. There's just no security on these stations and things. The humans are rebelling against the Alliance. I was like, is this kind of... So the first time we had the Deep Space Nine Mirror Universe, because of Spock, like... he destroyed the Federation and these other people rose up. Now I'm like, are you just trying to change the balance back? Okay. Yeah. I'm not invested in their rebellion, even though I feel like I should be.
That's a really good point.
Which is why, and this is the alter episode I actually wrote down, it would have been interesting if Deep Space Nine had ended their story after 6 seasons and then did a full season in the Mirror Universe with the same actors, the same characters. You could kill them off as they go along, but give it its due. I think would have been really cool to do a full season.
Yeah, I wrote down at one point that in my mind, in the TOS Mirror, everybody in the Mirror Universe, they're pure id. They're just like, this is what I want, and I'm going to do it now, and I don't care. And even Spock in that universe is all id. He's just like, yeah, I'm logical about it, but I want to do all these things. And I feel like, so I had a hard time putting my head around the rebellion because I was like, They're like, well, I want to be free. And I'm like, I don't think there are good guys in that universe, right? Everybody should, I mean, and that's just me. I don't know if I'm, and now maybe I'm just talking about, well, it's not like TOS universe or whatever, but I feel like that's more interesting. Maybe it isn't, but it's been way more interesting than this because and maybe I was just making myself stumble because I'm just like, well, what's this rebellion? Don't they really just want to take over? They don't really want to be free. Aren't they in this universe? Isn't it? They should, yeah. Otherwise, it's just like,
maybe they do by now, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, the way you put it is really good. It's just not. It's not that compelling. So for me, all that drives the episode is the Cisco's getting back together, and yeah, and I'm just looking at some of the Wikipedia reception for the episode, and people didn't. A couple of the reviewers didn't like Felicia Bell. I did, and maybe that's just I think she's pretty or something, but I thought she was fine. I thought they were. I enjoyed them together.
But she
again,
wasn't,
like I said earlier, maybe I'm doing all the work. Like, oh man, that must be really hard. It's his dead wife. And da da da.
I mean, another thing that could have been interesting is if he'd taken her back with him, because he needed to get her out there anyway, so that they didn't have her knowledge, right, to complete the stuff.
Yep.
Can you imagine if next week's episode he has to introduce Jake to his mom, and if Jake never existed in the other universe?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm remembering right or not, but I feel like in the first Mirror Universe episode we established that Jake was never born. So, and it certainly seems like he wasn't because they never bring him up in this episode. So bringing her back and having Jake have to confront this woman that looks like the mom he lost, and her confronting a son she never had, would have been such an interesting story.
That's my alternate episode is she goes back with him. And that's what I thought might happen. I mean, I guess I knew it wasn't going to happen, but I thought, actually what I thought was going to happen is that he was going to see her die again. And she's in future episodes. I'm kind of glad because maybe we can explore it better than here. But yeah, like I said, I thought she was fine. I don't, but they have to carry the episode other than, like I said, Dax coming in. That's what I wrote down. I love these Trek Mirror universes just because they're so highly sexualized. I mean, which, again, I think that's fun. I don't know that takes over the episode, but, the idea of the captain's woman and the fact that Kira as the captain or the leader or whatever it is doing it the same, I sauce for the goose. I appreciate that too. But seeing Cisco and Dax, they're his side piece. And then I just got into the whole like, well, wait a minute. That's his old buddy. And we've talked about even on our universe side that it's kind of interesting their chemistry, how that works. It's his old buddy, but also in Terry Farrell's body and definitely a little different. So
yeah, the Cisco sleeping with Dax was so weird on multiple levels, especially because like he chose not to go there. And the writers did that for a reason. So then having him go there now was weird. And also the fact that Cisco didn't hesitate to keep his cover. Like, I feel like he should have talked to Smiley. Can we loop Dax in? Like,
right.
Just not even hesitating. I'm going to sleep with this woman that looks just like my old friend. With minute to process that was so weird.
When in Rome, but seriously, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I
didn't like that. I didn't like it. Almost felt like a betrayal of his friendship with Dax. The way he was so casual and just did it.
Yeah, speaking of alternative episodes, it made me think of the episode where Troy wakes up as a Romulan. It made me think of that. Like, if we had just started with Cisco's already in that world, and then we've got to figure out why he's in this, why everyone's acting strange, and not for 50 minutes, just for 5 or 6 minutes. I think that would have been interesting. But but instead it's
Yeah, it just did not work on any level in my
Face of the Enemy is the one I was trying to.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the name.
I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
But
I'm liking this episode less and less, but I mean, again, I did enjoy it. There are a lot of, maybe I just enjoyed everyone making out and Felicia Bell.
The premise is interesting of we need Cisco to come in and flip this woman that looks like his wife. The execution for some reason left something to be desired.
And so is his wife in that universe? She's not evil at all, right? But she's
she's entitled and spoiled and a collaborator.
Okay, yeah.
Which you could argue whether her collaboration is wrong or not. If we're looking at it as like a Nazi collaborator, of course we're going to say it's wrong.
Yeah.
But you can see it in another light in their universe, I guess. But they talk about she grew up on a planet where she wasn't enslaved and treated like crap, and they're actually treating her well because she can help them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, it is still a betrayal of her species, and she is still a prisoner to a certain extent. I think it was too light and fluffy. They needed some actual pathos for her that never showed up, and some actual ethical questions for her to struggle with.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'm backing up here or not, or right on, but when they first cut to the rebel headquarters, this is from the Chakotay.
That cave that looks so familiar that we've definitely seen 8,000 times.
Yeah, it's in the underground complex are familiar faces with mostly different personalities. Tuvok from Voyager for a start, Rom and others. The Rom choice I thought was more interesting than Tuvok even. I was like, oh, Rom is that is an opposite. That is a flip or whatever, and then they kill him. So
I mean, I don't think Rom was a little bit off or different, but not majorly, because he was still a good guy, I guess. Yeah. And then Tuvok was interesting. I just wish they would have used him. Like he's barely there. And it's like, oh, we just put him in here for Voyager crossover effect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but make him part of the story.
Yeah.
Would have been nice. They remind us that Quark died. I had to stop and look it up, and we did see him die. And Odo too. This Bashir was really set up to be an antagonist who I think wanted Sisko dead so he could take over. But again, you didn't play that out. You just kind of introduced it and let it whatever. Yeah. So, Kira's upset about Sisko's death and is executing workers. I think we got a little bit of the Kira-Sisko dynamic in the first episode, but I would have liked a little more setup or a little more payoff here. And again, Garrick seeing through it and being like, you've got a soft spot for this human you're sleeping with. Again, that was not played up enough. It was all just side because they were so focused on Sisko and Jennifer, Ben and Jennifer, if you will.
Well,
I don't know if anybody's ever thought of that as a couple name, but Bennifer sounds.
It does make sense. I've never heard.
Nobody's ever been called Bennifer before, right?
It sure worked out great. It might take a couple times or 3 times to finally get.
I mean, I think it worked out about as well here as it did in real life for the real Bennifer.
You mentioned Bashir being like the challenger and then not being like, I know I'm a TOS shill, but in that episode, Kirk smacks down Mirror Sulu, and then Mirror Sulu's like, now you got an enemy, and so now you got that going on the whole time. So that would have been more interesting here. Like I said,
was it a little bit satisfying though to see Sisko punch out Bashir? Like there have been times, especially in season 1, where we wanted somebody to do that to Bashir.
It almost seemed like Sisko enjoyed doing it too, not just for the acting. So
I think so.
Yeah, which I do appreciate. And Bashir had a weird wig on. I think it was a wig, and then Dax, maybe it's just, I don't know if she had a wig on or it was just a different look, but I liked it. Hers
probably a wig. Well, Voyager, they're always wearing wigs. Even Paris is wearing a wig. I know it doesn't look like it. But Voyager, they had a whole trailer for hair separate from makeup, and they put them all in wigs constantly.
Interesting.
That's what I found out by listening to the actors talk about the show.
Why is that? Just to make it not look
Garrett
like
Wong and Robert Duncan McNeil are clueless, but they're like, Janeway had like 8 wigs.
Wow.
Like, Robert Duncan McNeil's like, I don't know why they put Paris in wigs, but they did. They just did.
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
But Deep Space Nine, I don't think was as wig heavy as Voyager.
Yeah, this episode, sure, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. Oh, well. Rom is a traitor. I bought the traitorness. Maybe because he's a Ferengi. Maybe that's my speciesism coming through. But I was actually surprised to find out later that it was a trick and that Rom was not a traitor.
Yeah.
A triple agent, if you will. Jennifer, I don't understand how Ben and Jennifer got married. I understand why they don't work. Her privileged upbringing and his pirate whatever. I understand how there could be a physical attraction that transcends the universes. I just don't understand how they actually got married in this universe.
Yeah, that was yeah. Again, for me, I felt like I was doing the legwork for them. Like, oh, he thinks he's looking at his wife, even though the emotional part of him thinks he's looking at his wife, but the part of him that knows he's got to get stuff done is keeping it real, I guess. But yeah,
right. I don't know. It just so much of this just didn't make sense to me. I wish it did, but it did not.
Yeah. I did enjoy Kira's costumes once again. Mirror Kira's costumes were great.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course you did. Why would you not?
Yeah, it looks very warm. I feel like she looks hot in them, but she also looks like in my mind I'm like she's got to be so warm underneath that. It's got to be not enjoyable, but you wouldn't know it from her. You wouldn't know it from her.
No.
I like Cisco and O'Brien are about to go do something, and O'Brien's like, sorry, Smiley is like, I just wish we had more time to get you ready. I probably haven't told you half of what you need to know. I hope you don't run up against too many surprises. And Cisco says, if I do, I guess I'll just have to improvise. And the way he said it and the way they look at each other, I couldn't decide. It felt like they were like, it was a thing of like, yeah, a lot of improv sucks. It's what they were saying. The way they looked at each other and stuff. But as an improviser, I just appreciated them. Yes, Andy, that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cisco kissing Kira. We kind of talked about this with Dax. Just weird that he just does it without any conversation. Like there should have been a scene of Smiley convincing him to do it or something.
Yeah. So yeah, as we've said many times, he's not Kirk.
No.
Kirk would kiss everybody, so that's what he's going to do.
I mean, yes, but it does feel like they're giving him like a Kirk-like story here, right? Like it's very.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Again, it gets into that. Well, is the mirror universe opposite universe or just different? I guess it's a little of both, but because I think that's one of the things of the original series is when they flash back to the mirror universe people in our universe, and they're just losing their minds in the brig. But Spock knows that's not his Kirk. But is there that much of a difference between the two? What's the difference? Obviously we know our Kirk's much better, but he was able to. Him sliding into that seems to make more sense to me than Cisco's sliding into this. But maybe it's not feeling like I know Cisco as well, even though we're far beyond where the well, and that's a completely different conversation of how well developed Kirk was back then, or maybe Kirk's just simpler. But yeah, the more we talk about it, the more there's too many things to think about to take you away from enjoying this episode.
Right?
Yeah.
I think so.
And I don't know if I'd want 2 hours of this.
No.
If
I don't want 2 hours.
Yeah. If there's more evil Kira making out with everyone, yeah, I'm there for that. But,
yeah.
I don't think that would help the story itself.
I don't understand how Jennifer has enough privilege to send Garrick away.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she can talk with Ben privately? That doesn't feel right.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
But
I only have one note left, and it's something maybe we've talked about it before, but the rolling doors on Deep Space Nine and on the ships in the Deep Space Nine world, do those make sense efficiency-wise at all?
No.
Okay.
But they're Cardassians. They're Cardassian. Yeah. And Cardassian,
that's right. Yeah.
They're dramatic. So it doesn't always.
And that's what I was going to say is it looks great when they're doing that escape and Cisco's like, hey, Smiley, close the door or whatever, and he's like, yeah, great, I got to do it. But him running back and it closing and he's shooting over it was really good. I mean, it's similar to some shots from Star Wars, but it's still a different aesthetic. The rolling instead of the slamming shut or slowly closing from different ends, essentially simulating the washes, their star washes that Star Wars does. But I think this is the episode where they talk about delusions of grandeur. I think that's this week. Which made me think of that's not just Star Wars, but that's Return of the Jedi is where I know that best from. But that's all the notes I have.
We're only about halfway through mine, but honestly, given we've probably covered a lot of them, and I'm just going to skip through real quick what we got left. The Terran patch Jennifer's wearing is different than the Terran Empire patch we've seen before. Before, we actually almost a balanced globe with North and South America and Europe, Asia, Africa, not Australia, and it's kind of crushed. But this one is like all Western Hemisphere. It's just huge United States, South America.
I didn't look that closely at it. That's interesting.
Yeah, like the Terran patch has changed. It's very, very racist, Western Hemisphere wise.
In light of recent events, it makes sense that the evil Terrans, the terrible Terrans in the Mirror Universe.
But the Terrans in Kirk's time were more global.
Yeah, well, yeah, there you go. Well, yeah, so maybe it doesn't make sense.
I don't know. Jennifer says the rebellion causes death. Justification of a collaborator. I would have liked to have heard more of that. Although I don't want to hear more of how Zelensky caused Russia to invade Ukraine. But similar sensibility there, right?
Yep.
For the record, support Ukraine. Evil Russia. But just because I feel like I have to say that these days.
Yeah.
Not because I genuinely support it, but I feel like if I left that joke lingering out there, somebody might take me seriously. And no, Russia's evil. Support Ukraine. And if you disagree, you're not listening to this anyway.
Yeah, what are you doing here?
Cisco says Jen is worse than the slaves. That's the Uncle Tom's Cabin moment that I wish we'd actually got played out more. It is kind of a preview of more to come because Cisco's character deals so much with race as the series goes on in a very good, well-written, intelligent way. I like it a lot. In terms of writing, I should mention that this was written by Ira Steven Behr and Robert Hewitt Wolf, who are, going to be like the two top people. At this point, Michael Pillar's still the showrunner, but they're up there of who they're running. And regular director Winrich Colby. I did feel like Jennifer buying Ben's argument of freedom's better than slavery resonated. Like, it didn't feel like she earned going with him. Felt way too easy.
I agree.
I did take note in the hallway when they're doing the Star Wars shootout that Cisco has 2 guns and she has 0. And while you can get there from a intellectual perspective, it also felt super sexist.
Yep.
O'Brien rescues the workers, which would be an argument against your Smiley's evil type thing. Yeah. Or maybe he just had them as like cannon fodder to help him escape. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah.
O'Brien and Cisco stop and have a conversation while they're trying to run away, which is dumb. Then we just get the reveal that Rom is not a traitor. He's dead in a very gruesome thing. Like, oh, wow. And hearing that Garrick found out through torture, and then Garrick probably did that. Again, this is maybe the weakest Garrick episode we've ever had, but I wish we would have gotten to see more of that. Honestly, the torture scene might have been interesting. Yeah. And seeing Rom resist the torture, but cut away before he reveals. Yeah. So you think he gave up their plan, but then you just find him stabbed on the door. That would have been cooler. Just saying. Garrick yelling, "Pursue!" Wonderful line. Like, wonderful delivery, wonderful line. Yeah. So stupid, but wonderful.
I agree, yeah.
When the rebels hide in the ore processing area and Kira and Garrick get the door open and they come in and everybody's just standing there, I'm like, how do they know Garrick and Kira wouldn't just come in guns blazing, which is what they should have done. And you should have, like, they kill a few extras before Cisco's like, wait, stop. We gotta stop. Like, I got carbonate on me or whatever, carbamide on me or whatever. It just, you gotta do something. You can't just stand there in the open. It doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
We get Jen standing up to Kira in that moment. Again, does not feel earned. Cisco bluffing, and Kira realizing he's not bluffing. I actually liked that. I liked Kira saying, yeah, no, he's not bluffing. Kira promises to hunt him down. Nice. We get a promise of more to come. I didn't mention this last week. It was, I guess I skipped over the notes, but Seska saying to Janeway, Janeway's something about, like, we'll be back or I'll see you around. I was a little bit surprised they left that open and then followed up on it in this era. Deep Space Nine, given this was the second Mirror Universe episode, I expected a third. Like, okay, yeah, of course there's going to be follow-up on this. Cisco tells everyone he's going to go to appeal to the Romulans. You still can't reveal that he's, I guess, keeping the back pocket in case they need him again. But it feels like at least Jennifer and Dax maybe should be looped in that this wasn't real Cisco.
Yeah.
I don't know. Even though Jen figured it out, but didn't even want to go back with him. Never even raised. Dumb. And that's all I got for my notes. I'm just not happy with this episode.
Yeah, I started from a much better place, but the more we talked about it, my reservations got bigger. That's for sure. Like, I still don't hate it, but it wasn't as I think, yeah, of the three, Warning 3, one original episode. This is only the
technically, the Tholene Web was a Mirror Universe episode.
That's right. And was there a TNG Mirror Universe?
No.
I always think Yesterday's Enterprise is, but it's not.
There have been novels, but no canon episodes.
Okay.
And spoiler, there's no Mirror Universe in the TNG movies either.
Gotcha.
Let's get to the rankings. Who was the shady character in Through the Looking Glass?
I got Smiley. I struggled to decide who was shady because kind of everyone is, but yeah, I just didn't trust him.
I did Smiley as well because I didn't trust him. He kidnapped Cisco from Ops, and then he's constantly lying to people.
Yeah,
not looping anybody in. So I'm with you. Who was your annoyance in this episode?
He was also my annoying. I just didn't like
Smiley. Was
Smiley? Yeah, I shouldn't say I didn't like him. I was just like, yeah. I was like, and maybe it's that dissonance of like, I don't know who this guy is in either universe, or I shouldn't say either. I don't understand this guy's place in the Mirror Universe because he seems like, well, no, maybe he makes more sense than everybody else because it is. If O'Brien did everything, yeah, but he was still doing it for good over there, but he was kind of a jerk the way he took, either I'm getting annoyed with myself just thinking about this. He's my annoyance.
Okay. My annoyance, I feel bad about this because we talked about how Bashir's finally arrived as a character, but it's Mir Bashir. Because Mir Bashir is smarmy and annoying like old Bashir in the early season.
Yes,
but also last Deep Space Nine episode was the aging Bashir episode, and I chose old Bashir. So twice in a row, I'm choosing some version of Bashir that's not quite Bashir, but it's like, no, we turned the corner on Bashir, but I guess not completely.
Well, as I'm looking at the list for this season, these last two are 18 and 19 of 26. So, yeah, they were long seasons. So
they sure were. We're getting there, though. There's some really exciting stuff still to come in this season.
I feel like they'll close strong.
And I think I've said before, season 4 for me is where this series really hits the ground running and doesn't slow down. Like once you get to the season 4 premiere, which is a 2-hour premiere. They did a 2-hour season. Yeah, it's a huge one. And they redid the theme song. So pay attention in these last few episodes to the theme song. It's still the same essential theme song, but what they did was just reorchestrated it. And I think sped it up a little bit and boosted it a little bit to make it more exciting and dramatic. It's essentially the same, but it's like a better version of it. And they keep that from here on out. Of course, they add a new main character in the season 4 premiere, which is probably part of the...
Yeah.
And Cisco finally gets the look of what I think of as Cisco. He kept this balding, clean-shaven look for 3 seasons, and I never liked it. Yeah. And I always forget it was 3 full seasons, because seasons 4 through 7, he looks so cool. Once he shaves the head and grows the goatee, way cooler. Which is what Avery Brooks wanted from the beginning. He fought for it, and they wouldn't let him because they thought it was... Can't have a second bald captain in a row. Bald black man with facial hair, that's threatening. We need you to be non-threatening. All stupid bull crap excuses. But once they get to season 4, they let him have the look he wanted to have. And it's so much cooler. So, who are you having a drink with?
Just keeping with the things I like about this, Mirror Dax. Yeah.
I mean, it's... Yeah. I was trying to think of a reason to say it that wasn't old original series cringe, but I've always liked Dax, and this version of her seems really cool. I wanna have a drink with Mirror Dax too.
The captain's woman.
I would not lie about who I was to her though to sleep with her, unlike Ben.
Right. I don't know. I'm Marlena Moreau.
Yes. Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it is Marlena Moreau. Yeah, she's my favorite captain's woman, regardless. Barbara Luna. Great Barbara Luna, but Dax, I mean, Terry Farrell's not gonna, she's not far behind anybody, and not behind many, I should say. Anyway,
so ranking the episode, better or worse than Visionary? I'm gonna say worse.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So below that is The Abandoned, which was the Jem'Hadar child. Worse than that.
Oh yeah.
It started relatively near the bottom.
Yeah, but I wish I didn't feel that way coming in, but I definitely do.
Then we have Fascination. I think I still gotta go lower.
I think we're in range. Oh yeah, because that was a Red Kryptonite kind of thing. So at least again, you had the sexy vibes were at least around. Yeah, I'll go below that one.
Below that's Meridian. That was the Brigadoon planet where Dax falls in love. Just released on our podcast if you're following along.
I might put it above. I think I'll put it above that. But
I'm really torn.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah.
What's below that?
I don't. Below that's the bottom. Distant Voices is the bottom. That's Bashir aging.
Oh yeah.
Which was the most recent one we just watched. This is better than that.
Yeah.
Meridian is really a toss-up for me. Yeah. I don't feel strongly enough to fight you, so I'm going to go with the first thing you said and just say, sure, it's below, it's above Meridian, above Fascination, but I don't, that puts it third from the bottom. And unfortunately, that means episodes 18 and 19 are two of the bottom three right now.
Yeah.
So we're not in a good, and 17's only a few above that, so we're not in a good, we got like a little lull here late. Mm-hmm. 3/4 of the way through the season before it picks back up. I do think there's better episodes before we even get to the finale, just in the next few weeks. So, Paul Dooley's coming back here. We're going to be introduced to a new reoccurring Dabo girl that I think you're going to love. Her name's Lita, played by Chase Masterson. I think she'll be in the rest of the series. I think you'll like her.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. This week, Improbable Cause. After an attempt is made on Garrick's life, Odo conducts an investigation into who tried to murder the Cardassian Taylor and why. So not just who did it, but why did they do it? Again, the return of Paul Dooley will be in this one. Great. And great character. Anna Brown Tane, wonderful character. As Garrick's mentor. Yeah. So, Yep. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I do remember that being a pretty good episode. Been a while, but high hopes. Until then, live long.
Yes, and prosper.
It's All Been Done presents
Who's Got the Time?